Hey everyone, Scott Weidenkivowitz from Scott Wine Imagery. I want to walk you through something real quick. This is how I go from in camera to my website. This is basically a quick summary of my workflow. First thing I do after I shoot an event or shoot some sort of session, whatever it is, I import all my photos to Lightroom, and they're all DNG. If I'm shooting with my Leica, it's already DNG. If I'm shooting with my Nikon, I import it as DNG. Okay, once I'm there, I start organizing and I pick. I like using stars. Not everyone does. Everyone has their own choice: flag versus star versus color. It's up to you. Whatever floats your boat. I use stars, so I'm going to mark this as a 5. This is one that I want to work with. Okay, or you can do it as a 3 if that's what you're choosing, and 5s are done, complete. Whatever it is, go with what you want. Now, what I'll do is I'll first go in, make sure that everything is how I need it to be. All my settings, I'll do some processing. And let's see, so for this one, I'm going to bump up the exposure a little bit, so it's a little bit brighter, so you can see everything clearly. Now, after I do some processing, if I need some more effects that can't be done in Lightroom, I bring it into the On1 Perfect Photo Suite. The reason I do this is because Adobe Photoshop takes up a lot of juice from the computer. It's very clunky software. It does a lot more than what's essential for photographers. So I use On1 Perfect Photo Suite. It does the job quick, painless, and it's a lot of fun. So as you can see, I just opened the photo in Perfect Photo Suite, and the first thing I'm going to do is bring it into Effects. Perfect Effects is a great plugin to use for adding cool effects, and there's a lot of them to choose from. But I have some favorites that I use quite often, and I'm going to add, real quick, I'm going to add Orton Here's a Who in effect to this photo. And I'll just bring it down a little bit. Now, I'm not going to do any other editing just because I want to show you real quick, how my basic workflow. So I'm not going to go all out with the processing, but you get the idea. Then I'm going to bring it into, if I want to make this a black and white, I'll bring it into Perfect B&W, another great software in the Perfect Photo Suite. So just like Perfect Effects, there's a lot of presets that you can choose from, but let's go with a 21st century modern digital. And you can see that there's a lot to choose from. Modern straight, you got a cool cyan effect, some grunge, dramatic light, all these different things. Let's see, let's go to hint of color. So this is black and white with a hint of color. It's got a little tint here and there, but it's not 100% color. Then you've got Hollywood portraits. These are great for portraits, but they can be used for any landscape if you wanted to. So I like rugged. So let's choose rugged. It's a really good, cool reddish tint to it. All right, so let's say we got that. Now I want to add some cool focus. So I'm going to bring the photo that I've processed now in Perfect Effects and Perfect B&W into On1 Focal Point, which is going to let me sort of replicate a tilt shift effect. This is an effect that's usually done in the lens, but I can do this afterwards using Focal Point, which is a fantastic software for doing this. And what it's going to do is allow me to focus your eye, the viewer's eye, on a specific point where I want you to focus. So as you can see, there's already a masking bug here. I'm going to move it up here just so you can see. And now if you look, if I hover off, you're focused on that bus and the bridge. Let's take off the preview. See what that does? A little bit. Now I can fine tune this if I wanted to and make sure that that bus is perfectly crisp. Now, I like this, let's say I'm happy with this. I'm going to hit apply, and it's going to take the 3 effects that I just did. Now I have Perfect Effects, Perfect B&W, and Focus brought into perfect layers, which as you can see has a similar style to the layers in Photoshop. And I can remove and add layers. I can change the blending styles. I can do all this. I can mask out certain layers if I wanted to. If I didn't want the black and white effect to be on the sky, I could take that away. I could bring it into layer perfect masks right here and do the same thing, right? So it gives me even more flexibility. And with the perfect brush, I can do it without messing up the lines here. So there we go. That's what I do in Perfect Photo Suite. A lot of cool effects, a lot of masking, a lot of brushes, a lot of bugs, a lot of fine tuning. When all said and done, I'll save this. And what it's going to do is save it as a PSD file and bring it back into Lightroom, and actually going to partner it with the original DNG file. So they'll be right next to each other. And I can then take this, open it up back in Perfect Photo Suite, or if I really wanted to, bring it to Photoshop. And of course, let's close this. And of course, also work with it in Lightroom. So here it is back in Lightroom. If I wanted to add some more fine tuning, I could. Let's say I wanted to, let's say that I want to add some vignette. So let's add some vignetting here, focus your eye a little bit more, and there's our final image. Let's say we're really happy with this image. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to export this, and we're going to bring it into my website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Export. And then from here, I'm going to pick the Next Gen Gallery. I use Next Gen Gallery on my website for proofing to clients. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down. I've already entered the information for the login credentials. And then here you can create a new gallery specific to your photo, or photos if you're doing it in batches, or you can upload this to an existing gallery. So that's all you would need to do. Then you can go scroll down a little more, and you can actually specify rules. So you can say, if I upload this, if you've got multiple people at your company, you can export this and only allow you to manage the gallery. Don't let anyone else. So you can do things like that. You can create a post based off of the photo, but again, you don't have to. So then you can also create, you've got your alt and your titles and stuff based on what you put into your meta in Lightroom. Then you've got your quality that you want to upload, if you want to resize it, if you want to sharpen it for screen, on all that kind of fun stuff. If you want to watermark it or use Next Gen Gallery's watermark, that's up to you. So you got all these options, and then once you hit export, it's going to upload those right to your website, and it will be live. So that's pretty neat. I do that for all of my proofing galleries for clients. That's it. That's my workflow. Import from camera to DNG, edit in Lightroom. If I need to, edit in On1 Software's Perfect Photo Suite, and then back to Lightroom for final tweaks for the post-processing, and then export to Next Gen Gallery right to my website. How cool is that? Very simple. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.